everybody. This is Jason from League of Random Fandom, and
I'm Aaron from League of Random Fandom.
and this is us just checking in on you guys, seeing how you guys are doing. Here, bring you some random fandom. Aaron, how's your week going, man?
My week has been pretty good. While I've been living it, I've started shiny hunting more on Pokemon. I know this is just an abrupt segue into this, but we're actually going to talk about what we've done with our week.
Every time someone brings up segue, I think about like some dude on like a scooter, and he's like forming a new sentence. Yeah, yeah.
It's funny you mention that because have you ever seen Arrested Development?
Yeah.
Every time Joe rides up on his Segway, he like completely changes the subject.
That's clever.
I'm pretty sure it was intentional too. Anyway, I'm sorry for that awkward pause. I was getting water. Shiny hunting on Pokemon, which can be a lot of fun if you have a lot of free time. I've gotten some really cool ones. I showed you Melodic.
Yeah. Best Pokemon ever.
It looks pretty cool. Feebas looks interesting as well.
Isn't it like just yellow or something?
Instead of like that gross tannish brown, it's bluish purple.
I'm kind of tannish brown. You think that's gross?
Well, Feebas is designed to look disgusting. Way to back me into a corner. Anyway, yeah, Melodic's cool. What's another one I've gotten recently? Machamp is just green. It looks really weird.
That's bizarre.
It is. I've also, aside from shiny hunting, I got into a game that they recently released called Pokemon Duel. It's an iPhone app that's kind of like, it's like a
spiritual figurine thing?
Yeah, and it's really interesting because you see that Kyogre figure on my shelf up there?
Yeah, guys, for all of you guys who can't see, there's a Kyogre figure on a shelf up right there.
Yeah, they probably gathered that from what I said. Well, I'm like, they make it pretty obviously, that the app is based off of this thing that it was like an unsuccessful bout into like trading cards but with figurines that they did, the Pokemon company, and they were like in Toys R Us for a little bit and then they just disappeared, and I had the time to get a Kyogre and a Torchic. The Torchic is broken but the Kyogre is still intact.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that it's actually like taking off like in some form or fashion, even though I would like to have more trading figures. They were cool. But before that's another segue into something else. But before we do that, I want to ask you what you've done with your week.
Well, I've just been busy with school. Been busy with work, and in my free time, I've been getting into this new webcomic called Helper. It's like this really cool Korean thing, and it's real popular over there. It's making its way over here, and I'm just finding out about it. So I don't know how new or late I am to the party. What I do know is that it's super neat, super cool, and art style is very unique, which kind of drew me towards it. Plot-wise, very good. If for those of you who don't know, there's an app called Webtoon, as well as a website called Webtoon.com, and you can check out this new comic, and it's pretty neat. Pretty much the plot is like, how can I say? So this dude was like this Korean gang leader, except the gang was pretty cool. They treated like the community nice, and he like got ran over, and then he's in hell, and he has like a black ticket, and black tickets like signify that you're like a ghost or something like that, but you need like 100 black tickets to get like one white ticket for like rebirth or reincarnation or go to heaven. So he's just trying to get 100 to get reincarnated. It's pretty neat. Likewise, I've been getting into this new Resident Evil 7.
This new Resident Evil 7? I don't know if you've heard of this new Resident Evil 7, but it is now.
Well, long story short, I'm a fan of scary, spooky things, and Resident Evil is both scary and spooky, and they've done a really good job with it. I was a big fan of PT when it came out, and it's so sad to hear that it's not getting made. But Resident Evil is a nice successor to it. It kind of takes up the mantle of that new age of horror and video gaming. It's really, what's the word? ambiance is what I want to use. There's a big ambiance
It's
to
very ambient.
Ambient, yeah, there we go.
You were close.
There's a lot of ambience to it. The atmosphere is very intense. So that's all I'll say about it. You guys can check that out on your own time.
I wish they got back the original voice actors.
No.
I do. I hate scary things, but boy, I've gone back so many times and at least just watched Resident Evil like cutscenes on YouTube just because of that. Like it used to freak me out as a kid, and now I'm just like, this is great. I don't even care about that zombie. This is awesome.
I think the worst moment in like my childhood, or the scariest one for sure, was playing Resident Evil on a PlayStation for the first time and going down that hallway and that cutscene.
Yeah.
And the zombie, you just hear it, and then zoom.
And it just turns around, and you're like, oh, no.
That was terrifying. As a kid, I had no clue what was happening. I just knew I was afraid. Like,
yeah. I mean, I feel like that happened to a lot of people. And as someone who never played horror games, I was one of them. Like, we had this real jerk who lived down the street named Mike.
Kevin.
No, it was Mike. And he let us borrow the first Crash Bandicoot. But the first Resident Evil was inside of it. This isn't the reason he's a jerk. He was just a mean person. I'm like convinced he gave us Resident Evil 1 on purpose instead of Crash Bandicoot.
At what point did you realize that this wasn't Crash Bandicoot?
Whenever Austin opened the... That's my brother. I hope... I might bleep that out. He might not want to be online. I don't know. He opened the case and was like, that's not Crash Bandicoot. And I was just like... well, let's play it anyway. Well, he probably did that. He was like, let's play it anyway. I want to play Resident Evil. And I was just like, I'll watch because my big brother's doing it. And then he got that far with the zombie. And I was just like, maybe we should stop because I'm already going to have nightmares. So yeah, as a kid, I was terrified of zombies. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I'm glad you're enjoying the game.
Oh yeah, it's pretty neat.
Good. I've heard good things about it. I'm not going to play it, though.
Oh, you should definitely play it.
But you know what else I'm not going to play? Which is a good segue.
Huh? Whoa, that rhymed.
I told you there were some things I've been seeing that really irritated me. And I brought it up whenever I was talking about Pokemon Duel. And that is Chinese knockoffs of Pokemon games. I've known they've happened forever. I've seen them on like Twitter ads, and it was just like, this is laughable.
Those are the worst. I hate Instagram ads where it's like, catch monsters or whatever.
They started making YouTube ads for them.
You lie.
They're so blatant in their like bootlegness.
God, there's bootlegs for like Jump Stars or whatever, and it's like a turn-based game, and it's like...
You mean like the manga?
Yeah.
Or Jump Start first grade.
Yeah.
How dare they rip off the purity of Jump Start?
It's so weird. It's like, play as Pirate Warrior, and it's like obviously One Piece, but like play as a ninja.
Maybe alien with blonde.
Yeah, that's the gist of it. I could see where you're frustrated.
I mean, what's even more frustrating is the Pokemon... Like, Nintendo has formed this track record. Mm-hmm. I do love them dearly, but I understand they're not perfect. They formed a track record of like, oh, you're making a fan game? That's sweet. You need to take it down. And that includes, like, fan Pokemon games. But it's like, because a legitimate kind of... a legitimate bootleg industry in China has decided to, like, capitalize on the untapped potential of Pokemon in their communist country, and somehow it ended up in America, but somehow laws of America don't touch China. They're allowed to make these ads that are just blatant. I deleted the picture, but they're like, you can catch Mewtwo, Charizard, Kyogre, and Groudon, and it's like, these are real Pokemon. This isn't like, say what you will about Digimon, I liked it as a kid. They made up their own stuff, and it wasn't Pokemon. Yeah. This is Monster Park and like Master of Monsters, I think, are the two that have ads on YouTube.
Okay.
And it ruins my morning, in a way.
Well, this is the first time there have been Pokemon ripoffs. I don't know if you remember, but on the SNES, there's a Pikachu or I think the game is called like Monster Platform or something stupid, and basically it's a platformer with Pikachu, or what they would like to call Pikachu, and it's a horrible game. It lags all the time. It glitches out, and it's really Mario but with a Pikachu skin. And I don't know how they did this or how they got it to like really be on the cartridge for the SNES at the time, but it was a real thing and people bought it.
I mean, those kinds of things, I find them kind of interesting, and I did with like Monster Park and stuff as well. But then like Pokemon Company started turning a blind eye to them as they got bigger and bigger, and we're just. Oh, are you looking it up?
That's Jirachi.
Yeah, it's literally Jirachi, but kind of red and has a weird symbol instead of like a crescent. Anyway, yeah, they like started like Pokemon. That's a big name. Is turning a blind eye to Monster Park. And like telling fans who are like, this is free, it's a labor of love, they're like, no, you need to take that down. We only have space for real Pokemon games like Master of Monsters.
Well, I might play this. Say what you will, this looks kind of cool, dude. For mobile?
Hey, we're here to not talk it up, okay?
Everybody out there, go download Monster Park right now.
Sponsored by Monster Park, the most blatant ripoff of Pokemon out there. No, I mean, and that's irritating too, because I've looked it up. I was like, surely someone has voiced their frustration, but no, it's like, people are like, this is really fun. It's the best Pokemon game ever. And I'm like, it's not Pokemon.
I'm currently going to the App Store right now as we speak.
Oh no.
Real time.
I mean, I know we have a lot of viewers, so maybe we're just bringing it to Pokemon's attention.
Oh, right,
Maybe we'll be the heroes who do that. But in the meantime, I'm sure it's a great game. I've seen a lot of good reviews. It just irritates me. Okay, well, now that that's out of the way, on to the real meat of the podcast, which is Nintendo Switch. But I wish this was happening and it's not actually.
It's a pretty good title.
I just came up with it. Thanks.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we did film an entire discussion about the Switch presentation from January 12th, I think. Now we're sitting pretty at almost February. And, that nothing's happened with that video. If there's just a huge clamoring for it, maybe we'll put it out there. There's lots of talk about Bible Man and that's all I remember.
Nintendo Switch's biggest headliner, AAA game Bible Man, coming to the Switch, coming to Smash Brothers.
Oh my gosh. I feel like Bob the Tomato or Dooley or Davy and Goliath should be in before Bible Man, personally.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway.
Bob the Tomato. Get out of here, VeggieTales.
I will highlight, I don't know if that episode will ever make it to YouTube, but I would like to just address my favorite moment, and by far the most awkward of that night, was whenever the guy from Grasshopper Studios did the two devil horns and went, yeah! And then his mic cut off. And then his translator was really struggling to say anything.
Awful. Imagine Napoleon Dynamite just trying to do a voice. It was terrible. Just, what were they thinking?
I mean, Napoleon Dynamite would have at least, like, just come up with something.
Gosh.
That guy was just sitting there.
I think after the show, Reggie... You know why I think he was so nervous?
He just dragged that translator off by his ear.
I think Reggie had him, like, at gunpoint and was saying, like, you need to do this or else.
You need to do your job. Or else you'll be fired.
And I think after it, he wasn't fine. You've seen Reggie's hands. You know what he can do with those big old men. I think he got him by the neck.
Whenever it went to him during that presentation, he had like... He seems like a cool guy, but he had like a huge scar on his mouth. I was like, dude, he probably just got done putting someone in his trunk. Nintendo will go to lengths to make sure those fan games don't get put on the internet.
The Don Reggie. Reggie the Don.
But anyway, I mean, they could have like told us the entire premise to No More Heroes 3 that night, and like we just don't know about it because the translator had no clue what was going on.
Honestly.
Anyway, we're not going to talk about any of that.
Here's the free download code for No More Heroes 3.
Oh gosh. Do you want to get stuffed in Reggie's trunk? Don't joke like that.
You're right.
Anyway, what we're going to talk about, we've come up with some pretty cool ideas for games we would like to see. I don't know what Jason's are. He might know one or two of mine. I don't know. We'll find out in a few minutes.
We like to keep each other on our toes.
Yeah. Because if we have this podcast discussion beforehand, it's not as organic, you know?
Oh, I like that. Organic.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not as yeah. All right. Well, do you want to go first?
Yeah. How about this? I'll say mine. Like, I'll say one, then you go. Let me just pitter patter.
All right.
So.
And whoever says it last wins.
Yeah. So, pretty much, like Aaron said, we've come up with some video game ideas that would be lovely to see on the Switch, but in all likelihood, isn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, I'm a big Metroid fan. And I hate what they've done to the Metroid series. Other Elm was disgusting, terrible, deplorable, and downright should not have happened. So, seeing all these cool things that the Switch is presenting, all these open world things, and all these really immersive games, I would like to see something just as immersive, just as open world, and just as unique. And following up or piggybacking off of that whole Resident Evil vibe, something that's really atmosphere heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And Metroid Prime 3, what I really enjoyed about that was the atmosphere was always on you. There were 2 times I remember where I just put down the controller and was like, I don't know if I can play this anymore. And that was whenever you went to whatever the Chozo planet was. I forget what it's called, but anyway.
Zebes.
Is it? Zebes? Okay, cool. And they had Metroids there, and they were in containment, but you had to take out the power. Long story short, Metroids got out, the power was off, so it was just darkness and Metroids roaming about. Mm-hmm. And that sounds terrifying, and it was pretty awful. Other moment in Metroid Prime 3 that was really great was you had to go to this abandoned outpost in space somewhere. And you knew something was fishy because the ship was destroyed, no one was there, and you're left to wonder what's happening on this ship. And you're just in this creepy environment. I would like to see something that is kind of stems away from the whole Dark Samus doppelganger kind of thing in this new hypothetical Metroid. Something that even kind of stems away from our proverbial Ridley encounters. What I imagine...
that should still happen.
Well, hear me out.
You want to see him in Smash Brothers, Jason?
Touche. What I think would be really great as a really cameo would be that Samus is doing her escapades right in space.
Mm-hmm.
First person, of course, and Ridley is there in some off-world. However, he is like bitten in half. It's like the corpse of Ridley.
Oh. And
so there is something that's bigger and badder and more terrifying than a giant purple long-necked space dragon, who is like really intelligent, by the way.
You only really see that in the comic, but
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's just a mindless monster.
Yeah, he really comes across as a mindless monster.
Long story short, I would like to see something that would be terrifying for a Nintendo system, because you don't see a lot of horror games, and if you do, they're really third party, like a Resident Evil. I had that on Nintendo, and it was just a shooter. I would like to see something that, excuse me guys, really eclipses you in the whole Metroid universe and brings out that lore. And I think that a lot of times you're missing that lore. You're missing like what happens, or not what happens, but what Samus is really about, that her whole, family was wiped out, that she's like one of the last humans ever, that the Federation isn't really all that's cracked up to be, that Ridley is really like a terrifying presence. And you see all these things in these Metroid games, like the same formula. Oh, here is a bounty hunter, here are more bounty hunters. Mm-hmm. We're friends for now, you're gonna have to kill them eventually. Which, I mean, that's cool, if the formula works, keep making it. But with Nintendo Switch, I applaud them for what they're attempting to do. They're trying to step out into this whole new era of Nintendo systems, Nintendo gaming, and really be vanguard about it, or avant-garde rather. And I would like to see Metroid kind of go in that direction as well. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I mean, that sounds like an awesome idea. I don't want to get your hopes up, but recently they did talk. Someone was talking to Reggie. I don't remember who it was. And they specifically brought up Mother and Metroid.
Oh.
And Reggie's response was like, give it a year and let's see where we are.
Okay.
Which, to some... No. I think it was Reggie who name-dropped those two. He's like, people talk about these all the time, specifically. Now, and a lot of people get, upset about it, but let's see where we are next year when this interviewer in specific is talking to me. And I probably butchered that, but the way you worded it, a lot of people have hope that at least Metroid will come back in some form or fashion. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously Nintendo knows that just a normal spin-off, a lot of people aren't going to like that, which is kind of sad. I mean, from what I've seen, Federation Force isn't a bad game. It's just a Metroid spin-off in a time when people just want a normal Metroid game. Mm-hmm. And that's really the only crime it has going for it. What was I going to say? Yeah, as far as, like... I think... On top of the fact that, like, in Japan, they cater to Japan before anyone else, of course. I know a lot of the money a lot of their revenue probably comes from America, but it's a lot easier to cater to the people around you. Mm-hmm. And Metroid doesn't sell too well there. So I feel like, especially since, like, as far as they're concerned, Samus's story seems complete enough as it is. But, because, like, Fusion wrapped things up pretty nicely.
Yeah.
That being said, it would be really cool for them to build off of it, see where it goes. Because Samus is still a bounty hunter. Mm-hmm. Like, regardless of whether the last Metroid's in captivity or Ridley's dead.
She still has bills to pay.
Yeah, I mean, she's still a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some crazy, terrifying planet she could go to go hunt a thing. It's Samus. I would like to say, though, I hope they go a different direction in giving her, like, in her characterization. Because that was, like, a thing that made me want to play Other M, and then I played it, and it was like, they didn't do this very well.
Yeah.
At all. So, yeah, I like that idea, especially just being a Metroid fan. It's very... If someone says, I've got an idea, how about Metroid? Of course, I'm going to be like, yeah, sure. Let's do that. I guess I'll go next.
Yeah.
Okay. Picture this. Japan in the 80s.
Okay.
There was a series that they came out with. It was technically a series, but only had like 2 or 3 games for it. For the NES. It was like Famicom Fairy Tales or something like that. And the first game in that series was called Shin Onigashima. I'm probably butchering that because I'm an American speaker from the South, or an English speaker, so sorry. But in the States, we don't really hear about it that often. There was like a trophy of the 2 main characters in Melee. There's a electric guitar remix of the main theme in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And the 2 main characters are costume mushrooms in Super Mario Maker that I haven't unlocked because normal expert is terrible. The series was about, like, it was kind of like a proto-graphic novel. And the second game was literally just Journey to the West.
Oh.
So technically Goku is a Nintendo character.
I could get into that.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. It's not... From what I've seen, first of all, there's not a lot of it online, which is weird because it's the Shin Onigashima is like kind of heralded as like this really interesting, successful Famicom game. Unfortunately, only Famicom. We know nothing about it because this was created in a time when, NES games were just like, if they had to translate anything, it was just like, you won. And this game is all text. So much text. And it's built around that. And, translations weren't the best back in the 80s. So Nintendo probably did not even want to chance it. And they were probably like, I don't know, this strange plot might not resonate well with the Westerners. But I feel like we're in a time where huge plots and a lot of text and Eastern tales are a lot more widespread in the West.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be really cool to, like, remake this game. Obviously, a huge overhaul. I don't know how. Like, I don't know if you just want an RPG. I don't know if just a graphic novel would be interesting. I don't know how they would do it. But I feel like it would be really cool for them to remake this game somehow.
I'm looking at this character, or the main character, I presume.
Yeah, it's Donbei.
Man, he's really cool. I like his design. I'd love to see something that's happening. If you, for you guys who can't see, he's imagine a little runty, dirty-looking orphan kid.
The best way to describe him is a blue caveman.
There we go. That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and unlike Yu Yuki, which is the Journey to the West game, Shin Onigashima is like an original story that Nintendo created. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of dumb. I mean, I know that's not a very intelligent professional word to use. It's kind of dumb, man. That we never got to see it. I know there are a lot of games that never came out in the States.
This is Journey to the West.
Yeah, it literally is Journey to the West. I'm not even, like, joking when I say that. But Shin Onigashima is, you know, it's kind of like a pioneer that the West never got to realize. And, like, some plot that, like, a pretty cool plot from what I've read that, like, only the East got to experience. Granted, I kind of understand Nintendo's, you know, whoa, let's back off here. This is a bunch of Eastern stuff, and we're the United States and Europe. That's why Yokai Watch isn't doing anywhere as well as it is in Japan, because in Japan they're like, you know, familiar with these things. Mm-hmm. These are modern adaptations of yokai. In the West, it's like, what the heck is going on?
Right.
But it would be so cool to see it, like, updated from 80s Famicom graphics brought to the Switch. That would be sick.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. That'd be really awesome. I see it playing out well in my head. Mm-hmm. That'd be, yeah, I'm totally on board.
I'm glad.
Well, we can move on to my second game then, too. You brought up how Reggie talked about Mother and Metroid. Well, it's funny, because I was going to talk about Mother and Metroid as well. Aaron recently, or not recently, but within
the last 6 months.
Yes. Got me into Mother, or the Mother series, specifically Earthbound. There'd be times where he talked about it, and I'd really get, you know, interested, but then I started to look at gameplay, and I started to look at the plot and what was happening, and I got hooked instantly once I found out what the final villain was, or who he was. And it's just a really cool, quirky game. What I would like to see them do is not only revamp the series, maybe give us like a spin-off, Mother 4, something, you know? And give us a turn-based RPG, similar in the ways that, you know, which Final Fantasy was it? 13 was? Is that the Lightning one, I think?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Something that is not only looks good, but plays good and, you know, has a really good RPG feel. Something that is turn-based as well, like I said before, and really incorporates all the, like, the really cool, quirky things about Earthbound, while being an RPG still on the Switch. Mm-hmm. They're doing, Square Enix is doing an RPG thing, and it looks pretty cool. It's still 8-bit, with some 3D elements going on in it, and I'm not asking for all of that. I would just like to see something that is modular, something that is fluent, and without all, like, the, I guess, nuances that an RPG can come with. Especially something that is like a Final Fantasy-esque. So I like to see something like that. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. I really wouldn't know what the plot would be, which is kind of a big hole in my thing. Yeah. It could follow up with Ness again. Maybe Ness and Lucas meet up somehow. I don't.
I don't know how that would happen.
Yeah, I don't.
This is called Super Smash Brothers. No, like, it would be really cool, and I think a lot of people agree with you, considering each game is more or less a standalone title, just under an umbrella name. Mother 4 would be its own thing. It probably wouldn't be Lucas, it probably wouldn't be Ness, but it would still be Mother.
Awesome.
Yeah, every game in the series, regardless of, like, if you got into it with Smash Brothers or just found it on a shelf in the 90s and you were just one of the lucky ones who got it for not $200. You know, people enjoy it. They aren't like, Ness is the best. He's the best. I can't play Mother 3 because Ness isn't in it. They like it because it's Mother. It's got a style. It has a charm. Is like, that doesn't do it justice.
No,
to say it's a charm. It's like just like nostalgia and like down home love, but like epic stories, but also just a bunch of goofiness.
It's rhapsodizing almost. It completely pulls you in if you give it the chance. I equate it to the same phenomena that Undertale was, or is still. Whenever it came out, and Aaron, you'd know more about it than I, but whenever it did come out, a lot of people were intrigued by it and were pulled into it because it was story-driven. And that's what I feel a lot of these games like these days. They're more concerned about output and how much they can put out. I immediately realized how silly that sounded, but how much they can, get these games out, how well they look, and they're more concerned about being first and about all these things than, going back to like the roots, and that's being story driven. Halo's a prime example of that. I used to love Halo, and the story behind it, all the way through 1 through even 4. And then you have all these things that are happening, like Halo 5. I really don't understand what was going on. Or I do understand. What I mean by that is that I totally feel that it was just, I'm trying to make money, here's another Halo game. And I didn't appreciate that. Like you said with the Mother series, it's really great. Each one is standalone. And although, would Mother 1 and Mother 2 really be standalone? I feel like they all follow like one cohesive story.
They all have like a couple characters who in common, But all in all, yeah, they are Earthbound Beginnings and Earthbound are kind of like two. Earthbound is kind of a retelling of Mother 1, but completely different at the same time. It's not like a lot of the characters in your party are the same, but not all of them. They meet completely different characters, a lot of whom are integral to the story. But but yeah, like, they're definitely standalone in that sense. But yeah, those games really are just like works of art more than games.
Absolutely,
and
just completely story driven. Characters they really become personal. Even the side characters, even the people you meet in passing, they all
complete NPC like cliches can become like some of your favorite characters just because of how funny they are or how weird they look. I mean, to be fair, one of the things that's so great about Mother is the fact that it knew when to stop. But if they can come up with an idea where they're like, we don't have to, the fans really want this. The fan base has grown because of Smash Brothers, and Earthbound was released on the Wii U and 3DS Virtual Console. Earthbound Beginnings was finally translated after like 2 decades. And so there are a lot more people who want this. So like they have the opportunity to have a worldwide audience finally for this series. Surely Itoi could put something together. I'm not saying he has to, though. It would be a real bummer if he was just like, fine, let's just get some money and put something out there. Like, new Super Earthbound Brothers Wii.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That'd be awful.
That'd be a real step down. I mean, if it follows
The return of Ness.
I mean, Ness would be cool. Anyway.
The return of Porky.
I know a lot of people would hate that, but I like him.
Oh.
I like him in a villain way. Like, he's a good villain. I'm not like...
He's good at
He's
getting...
a good role model. I'm not like...
Under my skin.
I mean, he's got a cool robot, and he's a terrible person, which makes for an awesome villain. I mean, but he's also, like, strangely sympathetic. That's another thing. You know, he came from a broken home. He doesn't have any friends.
He has a brother who's super cool.
Yeah, but he's not. So he and his brother probably don't hang out that much. His picky strikes me more as the kind of person who hung out with Ness, and Porky just kind of tagged along because Ness pitied him.
Yeah.
That's how I see Porky's relationship with everyone except his parents, who just probably beat him.
Oh. Well, he deserves it, man. God, I hate Porky. You can't convince me. Porky sucks.
No, I'm not saying it all makes up for his villainy. I'm saying
Porky betrayed us.
He's sympathetic, but he's also just
Spoiler alert, by the way.
awful villain, which is a good thing. Like, he's both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason he kind of got pushed in this direction. But yes, you definitely want to stop him, if not a little more.
Brought my dead brother back to life and made me fight him.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Sorry, guys.
Anyway, I mean, that game, even if it never came out, it's probably a decade old. Yeah. More than that, probably.
More so.
Yeah. The next game I came up with is another oldie but a goodie. It's a little ditty called Mock Rider. I played that recently, and as a fervent believer that Balloon Fight is the best NES game, Mock Rider kind of shook that a little bit. I was like, if this was done again and like polished, this could seriously be the best NES game. Like, you know, well, granted, I know Mario and Metroid and Kid Icarus and Legend of Zelda were on that as well, but it's really fun. It's not deep, but it's fun.
This looks cool.
Yeah, it's it's kind of like Nintendo Mad Max. It's weird. You're like in this dystopian future where like everyone's in the desert or like a broken like city.
And you all have leather patches.
You ride around on this like souped up motorcycle that shoots stuff. And you're just like the goal of the game is get to the next city, don't run into anything, and you have like a rear view mirror that lets you know when someone's coming up trying to like run into you and kill you. And you have 4 gears you can go into. So you can like just speed up so much. So like that's what I ended up doing when I found that out, because the people who try to ram into you from the back are really irritating in first gear. But in fourth gear, they're no problem. The problem is you need to pray you have extreme luck, because there are still rocks on the road and you might just go into one on accident. Sorry everyone, I accidentally bumped this entertainment center. But yeah, like if they fleshed that out, gave it like a story, maybe, you know, made Mock Rider more of an icon, and heck, even like had arena battles or something. That seems like Mock Rider seems like the kind of game that would work perfectly with like destruction derbies and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I didn't think a whole lot about it, but I was like, that in and within itself would be really fun to me.
That seems neat, man. I would like to see something like that too. I don't know much about it other than what you just told me.
That's pretty much all there is to it.
Well, sweet.
I mean, it's an NES game.
But looking at like the art for it and the sprites or whatever, I can say I'm definitely interested. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. I've had hiccups all day. I
think it'd be because I know Nintendo wouldn't make it super gritty, and that's why I want to see it, because I don't want to just see it's a broken world where you shoot things, because I feel like there might be a couple of those out here nowadays. But I know Nintendo would be like, we can find a way to make this wacky. Even if it's the apocalypse. And you're shooting people.
Earthbound, prime example.
Yeah,
it is the apocalypse happening.
Yeah, I mean, other games can get really dark really fast, but it's still like...
There's a whole fan theory on whether or not Gygus is an abortion. I don't...
Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't believe it, but...
I would like to believe it.
I would like to not.
It pulls me into
that's
the game
weird.
even more.
But anyway, yeah, they can definitely do dark, but there's a difference between that and just, like...
Majora's Mask.
Grit. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean... granted, there would be people who were drawn in by, this is the most realistic looking Nintendo game I've ever seen. I don't know what he sounded like. Parker, give me pictures of Spider-Man. It sounded just like him. I guess he really likes those realistic games.
Crap! Mega crap!
Give me pictures of Spider-Man.
Alright guys, special guest here, J. Jonah Jameson.
Glad I could be here. Anyway.
Sponsored by...
by Spider-Man.
I was gonna say the Daily Bugle.
By the Daily Bugle. In theaters in 2001, probably. Anyway, I'm sorry. There are probably people who would be like, that's cool. That's like what a real person looks like.
We need a J. Jonah Jameson game. I'm still not over this, dude.
I'm trying to get back on track.
I'm sorry. Yeah, let's...
It's okay. It was funny. It was funny. I mean, I know I'm the one who did it, but it was funny. Like, I understand there are people out there who are like, this is the most realistic looking video game. But my stance on video games is you have the opportunity to, like, go wild with your imagination. So you should do that instead of trying to make fantasy look like reality. That's my stance. And I think Mock Rider would be an awesome in the middle. Like, in an apocalyptic world where the motorcyclist savior wears neon blue and red. That's what Mock Rider wore in the game.
You know, while you were saying that, my, like, image in my head was... it's like a side view of, like, the guitar. And it's like... and it's like the narration
the
just
guitar?
did. No. This is like the
I was wondering what you were... Is that how you play a guitar? You hold it like a pipe and go...
No, that's the motorcycle. And then it pans up, and for whatever reason, I just imagine Goofy, and he's like...
I did that wrong. No, I haven't heard it in a long time. That's weird. Why?
Max!
Maxie, you gotta go to college. That's from a Goofy. Well, it's a summary of a Goofy movie for anyone who's wondering what I just said.
Oh man,
do you have any other ideas?
I do.
Okay.
And this one is just a little bit fleeting, but
Well, you said you like literally just thought of it a couple minutes ago.
I did, but
Let me say that louder. You said because my head is like away from the microphone.
But my idea would be a Pokemon Monster Hunter mashup.
That's Monster Park.
No. Have you come full circle?
All right, everyone, go down. I'm just kidding.
No. So Pokemon is notorious for doing mashups with outside parties. You got Pokken. You have that one. Was it the
Pokemon Conquest?
Yeah. And it would be cool to see a Pokemon game that actually, you're hunting the monster. You're hunting Pokemons. You go back to the Pocket Monster days. Mm-hmm. And I imagine it wouldn't be gory for the, namesake of Pokemon, but it would still be kind of gritty. Hence,
it'd be like you fainted that Pikachu.
Right, yeah.
It wouldn't be like, let's go kill the Charizard. It's let's go faint him or maybe have him be our friend.
Yeah. And I think that'd be pretty cool. An open world kind of thing happening.
That would be interesting.
Since that's like the motif of Nintendo games these days, or new ones at least, is just this whole expansive
world. That would
world.
be crazy to have like this personalized open world Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
where you can become the trainer you want to be, not like with Sun and Moon, it's like you can do a lot of customization.
And I was just about to say, Pokemon is doing a really great job of that. Not only, and they did that in Sun and Moon. I know they did that. Did it with this app they did, Pokemon Go. If I'm correct?
More or less, not as
hefty.
Yeah, it was there though.
Mm-hmm. So the customization mechanic would definitely be present within Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter is really just heavily customizable. So.
Because I went back and customized my character in Moon a little more, and it was like, this isn't really an avatar so much as just you are fixed. Like you can change skin color and hair color and eye color, but it's like, what if, like, why can't I be as wacky as, like, the trainers who just stand in the middle of the road? Like, there's some really interesting characters out there, and I'm just this, blank slate who has an empty smile 24/7. What if I want to be, I don't know, like a crazy hefty man? What if I want to be me?
Going to a theater near you.
Crazy hefty man. Rated R. I don't know, it's a movie. But yeah, and I feel like they data mine Sun and Moon, and like every Pokemon has walking and running animations. Like at some point they plan to bring that back. And it's just like, it'd be so cool to customize that. Like, not even like the first Pokemon in your party's following you. Like, your favorite Pokemon, who you can't have in your party because they're weak as all get out. Like, Yokai Watch 2 and 3 do that.
Yeah.
I know, it's like, those games just came out. Aren't as widespread and beloved as Pokemon are, and they did it, like, from the get-go.
Because I would love to see a Melodic just slithering about. That'd be wonderful.
And, like, I have a personal place, like a soft place in my heart for Jigglypuff. Special place, not soft or personal. But Jigglypuff is a weak Pokemon. So, like, why can't I have it just follow me? Because it's my favorite, but not on my party. Because in, Yokai Watch, I can have Wobble Walk follow me, but have, like, the most competitive-based team, like, in my actual party. Open world, yeah, that would be cool. I know you didn't even talk about any of those things. I'm just throwing ideas out there, too. An open world game where, like, I don't know, make the world more replayable, I guess. Like, I beat Moon, and honestly, like, after I beat Moon, there wasn't really anything in that game that, like, where I wanted to go back to play it. It's a good game, don't get me wrong. But I'm not that interested in, like, the battle tree or whatever it is. It was pretty cool to do the Ultra Beast post game, but that, I mean, if you're interested in it, it wraps up really quickly. It, like, you're like, this is fun, and then all of a sudden it's gone. It's like, oh, well, I beat it. What was I saying? Lost my train of thought there. Yeah, like, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, maybe in Gold and Silver too, like, trainers you previously fought could, like, call you and, like, request rematches. Rematches. That would be cool to, like, after the game, like, you have the ability to go through and everyone has gotten stronger. Because, like, with Sun and Moon, it's still fun to go back to every now and again, but I just play I play Y and Omega Ruby and just shiny hunt. I played maybe like 5 minutes of Moon today compared to the hours I put in for Omega Ruby and Y. Because those games, like, shiny hunting's more accessible. It's extremely time consuming, like far more than the other two in Moon and Sun. But yeah, just have all this awesome stuff. It's one of the reasons I like Yokai Watch so much. I know I keep coming back to that. It just does a lot of things right. It's a darn shame a lot of people don't give it a chance. That game has so many side quests, and there are, like, so many yokai. Like, you can go through that game and only see, like, 40 of them, and then beat it, and there's so many more. It's like, I didn't even think I could befriend this thing. This is crazy looking. What in the heck? speaking of which, you brought up Pokemon Conquest, but Yokai Watch has something like that too.
Oh, no way.
It's called Yokai Sengokushi.
Okay.
And it looks awesome.
Oh, okay, cool.
I really want it to come
What's
to
the release date?
Well, it came out a couple years ago in Japan.
Never mind.
But if we get it, it'll probably come out like 2 years from either next year or the year after that. But I mean, it's not like that series sells too well around these parts, the United States of America. Not to mention strategy RPGs aren't like, the bread and butter of the West. But yeah, it would, off that soapbox, open world like Monster Hunter Pokemon would be really cool.
I agree.
Well, I hope, because you came up with the idea. I have an idea. I'm going to gloss over this one, because it was just a passing idea I had, like, last year. And this feels like a great vessel to plug it. We were talking about Amiibo a couple minutes before the podcast started, and you were like, I forgot that's even a thing. I was like, yeah, they could actually use them instead of just coming out with cool figurines.
Look so pretty.
Yeah, they look really cool, but the only ones that like the Shovel Knight one functions about as it should.
Yeah, doesn't that like allow multiplayer?
Yeah, like you can do co-op and you have like a customizable Shovel Knight. It's interesting. It's like Shovel Knight is a game that you don't need an amiibo to enjoy it, because they're still coming out with DLC that's free. It's like you just update the game, and it's not like really lame like, now your Shovel Knight's green. It's like I'm playing as one of the bosses and the gameplay changes drastically. Yeah, that's like the only amiibo that I can think of off the top of my head that's like, this is worth the $12 I have spent on it. All those amiibo over there, and the one you put Mewtwo on top of, is just because I'm a figurine collector. Now, what if have you ever heard of Custom Robo?
Yeah.
Okay. They should bring that back, and you could build your own Robo. You could customize your own Robo, because it's Custom Robo. Customize a robot.
Whoa. Whoa there.
I wish Nintendo would be like, hey, you know how we have this series where you build your own robot? And we have this line of figurines where you can, like, do things with them? How about we combine the two? And you can buy, like, sets or like blind bags or something. I'm not a big fan of blind bags, but like you get parts.
Gundam sets, man. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you could like customize and build your own robot.
Dude, Gundam, like building a Gundam was like the better part of my like third and fourth grade years. Dude.
Oh,
Gundams are great.
I know, you've told me about how much you like them. But like on top of not even just like I can assemble my own figure. It's like I got this arm that does a specific thing and like this leg that like increases the speed. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
Like you can literally build your own amiibo with like the parts you have bought. And like each part is different. It's not just aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
I know Nintendo, they like to stay in like this gap between you need an amiibo to play this game and you don't need an amiibo to play this game. Amiibo are actually kind of a waste of money unless you like figurines, in which case they're pretty cool. The only game that's been in you need an amiibo to play this game is Amiibo Festival, and that game is very boring. Every other game has been in the other area, like you don't need an amiibo at all. You can unlock everything that amiibo availability grants you just by playing it, which is kind of, it's like, it takes the fun out of unlocking things. Excuse me. Yeah, that's my idea for a custom Robo game, because I feel like, I know that series, it feels like it was kind of short-lived in the West. I'd love to see it come back. It's weird, like, when Melee came out, they had all these trophies, and it was just kind of cemented, like, these are the Nintendo games. And then, like, when you look at the 3DS and Wii U trophies, you don't really see anything like Custom Robo or Golden Sun, or, I mean, Golden Sun was only in Brawl. But,
Rest in peace, Isaac.
Yeah, he should be in Smash Bros.
No, jokes aside, definitely should be in Smash Bros.
They should make a new Golden Sun. I know it's not my turn after this, but, anyway, yeah, like, there was nothing Custom Robo in Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS, and it was just kind of like, man, that's weird. Like, not seeing, like, a robot as one of the trophies or an assist trophy, because that was there in Brawl and Melee. But, I've been talking a lot. My throat. I need some water. Okay. That's all I have for that. But I will introduce a bombshell.
Boom, 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 boom.
I've talked to you about this in the past. I've always thought it would be so cool to have kind of, there's Disney Infinity, there's Skylanders, there's Lego Dimensions. It would be really cool for Nintendo to, like, make a game similar to that.
Like a big sandbox?
Yeah. No, but, like, sandbox in the sense that, like, it's an open world adventure, but not like you can do anything you want, more like Skylanders in that sense, but more like Disney Infinity in the sense that it's fun.
Okay.
Like, first of all, I think it'd be cool. First, like, they have a ton of amiibo out already, so you could, like, tie some unlockables that you don't need for this game to amiibo that people might already own. Like, you don't have to go out and buy this amiibo game edition of Mario to play as Mario. You can use the Smash Brothers amiibo or the 8-bit Mario amiibo, and you can still play as Mario in that game. And it allows for not only, like, merchandise and like for these characters who otherwise wouldn't get it, which was the reason I liked Smash Brothers amiibo so much. Like, you could have characters who, like, just never would have had anything, Smash Brothers or otherwise, like Ben in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Let me get it. Like, the gameplay I've thought about would be like a combination of, like, a platformer and an RPG. Everyone's tied to, like, he's more fire-based, but it's not just like, I can't jump, and you're just, like, running around this grid, just like, I wish I could climb that mountain. Like, maybe you see a gap and say, Princess Peach could, like, glide over it. Maybe Luigi has a longer jump, so he could jump over it.
Yeah.
Some characters just might not be able to go over it. I don't know. But, stuff like that. Like, different abilities, different, like, move sets. Like, you can unlock, like, different attacks for each character and, like, map it to a button. You kind of get where I'm going with that.
Absolutely.
But it's still, like, open world and, like, from the perspective of, like, a Super Mario 64 or a Super Mario Sunshine type game. Mm-hmm. Like, it's behind you, it's definitely a platformer, but it plays a little more intricately. You following?
No, I am, yeah.
Okay. I was waiting for a reaction. You were just like...
Oh, no. I'm sorry, audience. I was really, like, zoned into what was happening. No, that'd be really cool, especially to see the diversity implemented between characters in this huge world. Even to see things that are character-specific, like how you were saying. Like,
and maybe you could even learn moves that are, like, universal to everyone. Like, characters who aren't quite big enough or, like, diverse in their movements enough. Like, there's a game called Mole Mania, and you play as this little mole named Muddy Mole. And really, the whole thing is about, like, suplexing boulders and digging. I thought it'd be cool if, like, he could...
like my kind of game.
Like, he could teach you about how to suplex boulders people. Like, he's not playable, but there's still, like, this, they cement, like, this is a part of Nintendo history.
What's really cool about... Or, let me back up. I like what you're saying, and Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 1 and 2, what they do that's pretty neat is that they have mentors.
Mm-hmm.
And the mentors are like the staple characters, like, Vegeta, Tien, Shinhan, or, whoever. And you can learn certain movesets. While these characters aren't playable in, like, the normal campaign, they are in the versus mode. You can learn certain things that are specific to those characters. So that'd be something cool to see, too, having a mentor kind of... what's the mechanic happening, Like, man, I need to learn how to do...
I need to learn how to do medicine. I'm going to go talk to Dr. Mario.
Oh.
That was anyway.
I'm just learning how to enslave a whole kingdom. I'm going to go talk to Ganondorf.
I need to learn how to go live in sand. I'm going to talk to Ganondorf again.
I did not even know where you're going with that, but now I do.
Live in sand. Anyway, but like I also thought having like a staple Nintendo character, but kind of an avatar at the same time. I was like, how could you do that? And then it's like there's so many like,
knees,
Well, there's that, but like. What I came up with is like, Mario has come up with, like, he's had so many costumes and power-ups and stuff throughout the years, and that can be said for a lot of characters. They're even character... They're character...
Yeah. Yeah.
Even Nintendo characters who've only been in one game, they're like outfits and costumes and stuff that like... just in the background, like, it's hard to explain. Like, one example is Ashley from a game called Trace Memory. She's only been in 2 games, one of which never came out in the United States. It came out, like, everywhere else, of course, because that's a game I actually want to play. She wears 2 different outfits in both games, but, in the second game, she goes to, like, a campsite, and one of the, one of the souvenirs is like a Camp Juliet or a Lake Juliet T-shirt. Mm-hmm. She has like a specific brand of like suitcase it's kind of like a knockoff of Hello Kitty. So there's obviously like clothing based on that. Like her parents are scientists, so you could give her a lab coat, stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah.
And it's like if a character that obscure, has that many options, imagine Mario. and like you could have that like American flag golfing hat. God. And like have the flood on your back from Super Mario Sunshine, and have like the flying Mario overalls from Super Mario Galaxy.
Louise.
Yeah, and it's like, this is still Mario. These are all things Mario has worn, but this Mario is exclusive to me and my amiibo. Yeah.
I see what you're saying. That'd be pretty cool.
And the biggest problem I've had with this, because just for fun, I try and like world build. Like, what if this was an actual game? This would, first of all, be sick. Second of all, how would the overworld look? And I've always had trouble with that, because like,
I feel like it could be like a whole thing where it's like different worlds, and you can travel between each one, almost like a Kingdom Hearts dynamic. They're really good about that, having a huge expansive world split up into separate ones. That'd be something that could work.
That would be an interesting idea. I definitely like. I do one thing that like one idea I've always really liked is like the hub world is Nintendo Land. From the game Nintendo Land. And, with all this craziness going on in all these different worlds, it's kind of, it serves as, like, the sanctuary for just, like, Nintendo characters who are like, we don't have, like, a crazy hero where I come from who has, defeated the villain, so I'm just crashing here. And so, like, Monita, who is, or I don't know how to pronounce it, the computer lady from Nintendo Land, and just as an awesome
like Monita, that's cool.
It's like Monica and Monitor at the same time.
Yeah.
And just as a cool reference, her and Dr. Wright from SimCity, the guy with the weird like butt-shaped green hair from Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Like those two are like trying to keep things rolling in like Nintendo Land, like helping everyone out. And that's the hub. I thought that would be really cool.
I can see that. That'd be pretty cool.
But, like, what I've thought is just, like, imagine Hyrule from Breath of the Wild, but it's all of Nintendo. Is this kind of stuff that I was, like... Calm down.
I'm stroking out over here, man.
Like you can go to Toad Town, the capital of the Mushroom Kingdom, but then you go through like these woods. If you go that way, you can go to Luigi's Mansion. If you go that way, you can go to the Greenhorn Forest from Wario World. And in there you find Wario's castle. Walk through the desert. Maybe there's like a Gerudo tribe over here, but eventually you get like you cross over like this big hill and you get to Diamond City from WarioWare. And in the distance is New Donk City from Super Mario Odyssey. And then on the other side, just like off in the distance, is Icicle Mountain from Ice Climber.
Cool.
You know, just everything is a reference.
Yeah.
Just like they've literally stuck like all of Nintendo in a blender.
I like that.
And, you know, you can, that's like, even if there's a character so obscure that, like, even if, like, no one would buy this amiibo, like, you could still have, like, boss fights with them.
Yeah.
I thought, like, it would be cool to, like, have a WVBA boxing rink from Punch-Out. That right there would make sense for cameos from Punch-Out, ARMS, Tellero Boxer from the Virtual Boy.
I can't wait to see that.
Joy Mech Fight that never came out here. It's another game that never came out here. Stuff like that. Like, any fighting game that Nintendo has ever made, that would be the perfect place to, like, fight those characters if you can't play as them. I imagine you would be able to play as an ARMS character. Like, just having a trailer for that game in the States is, like, more publicity than Joy Mech Fight ever got. But anyway, that's, you know, it's obviously a work in progress that'll never happen unless Nintendo hears this and, like, you know, if they stole this idea from me, I wouldn't even be mad. I would be very happy.
We of random Fandom guys have a lot of good ideas. Let's
you
go
know,
to one of our
you ever
CFOs.
You ever heard of this channel? Yeah, I'm one of their no subscribers. I'm just kidding. We have some subscribers. Thanks for listening, guys. And gals. Yeah, like, this... I mean, what if they just, like, happen upon us and they're like, you know, this is a pretty good idea. I can't believe we didn't think of this. I would happily be like, you don't even have to pay me anything.
Let's put them on their payroll.
I'll pay you to make this, and then I'll buy it.
Let's put them on the payroll. Let's make them the new CEOs. Let's kick Reggie to the curb.
No, don't kick Reggie to the curb. Just make us, you know, like there's that season of The Office when Jim and Michael are both, like, have the same job. We could just be that.
Yeah.
We could follow him around, and he's like, these are my proteges, Aaron and Jason. They came up with an idea for a game once.
I like that. That'd be a good gig.
Oh yeah, it would be awesome. It'd be a dream just to walk around and be like, I'm in a suit. At Nintendo.
I'm in a suit.
Seeing all their secrets.
You can make that a reality. You don't have to wait to be in a suit.
Well, at Nintendo, seeing all their secrets. But
bodies.
Just imagine... my gosh. Just imagine all the crazy characters you could be. Because, like, it wouldn't have to be... I guess...
I could be Hiachi. From Tekken.
Well, I meant, like, just first and second party Nintendo.
I could have his gi.
No, I don't... I mean, as cool as that would... I mean... You know, this is Nintendo. They have had Mercedes-Benz DLC in the past.
That's so bizarre.
What if, like, another idea I've had is, like, mounts and, you know, like, air vehicles, boats and stuff, because, you know, you gotta have a body of water so you can get to, like, Dragon Roost Island and Nowhere Island from Mother 3. What if one of the mounts was a Mercedes-Benz?
Heck, yes. Yes. What if? Yes.
We just, like, ruined the entire... Nintendo was like, we're listening. Oh, that's weird. I know we've done business with them before. I mean, they probably aren't. They're probably still listening, and they're like, that's actually a really good idea, considering you can drive a Mercedes-Benz in Super Mario Maker.
Right.
But, you know, there are just so many potential references. And, so many people like me who grew up with this company who have, like, respect for so much of what they've done over the years, not just in the gaming industry, but just, like, making their consoles like an art form and within themselves. Mm-hmm. A lot of people would clamor to this kind of thing. And, you could make a new amiibo, like Ashley from WarioWare. I don't know. I'm just saying, that would be pretty sick.
Or, oversized amiibos, really.
Yeah, I did think of that, actually. Like, maybe, you could get Bowser, you could get, I don't know, Porky,
King K. Rool.
Well, King K. Rool's, like, about as big as Donkey Kong.
Oh.
But, yeah, make him, too. And Ridley, yes.
Snorlax, that'd be a good...
That would be awesome. Yeah. Dude, yeah, and get Pokemon involved. And then... I mean, I could pull up the Word document. That was one of the first things. It's like a Pokemon from each generation should be in this game. And then, maybe you could come across, Cynthia, the champion from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum.
Yeah,
and
she's like one of your mentors, dude. That would be excellent.
That, or, you could have a Garchomp boss fight with her.
Yeah. And then once you beat her, she can be your mentor.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, stuff like that. Like, your prize for beating me, I will teach you a cool move. Mm-hmm. Just stuff like that. And then you could have, a multiplayer mode where you could fight people.
Dude, even the skeleton from Twilight Princess, the former Link or whatever.
Oh, Sans?
Yeah. Oh, no. No.
Yeah, that guy. That would be cool. That would be perfect for, let me teach you a move. Because that's what he exists for.
Yeah.
Is let me teach you a move.
Sans has no business here. Go back to the underworld.
I just wanted to see if you'd react.
It took me a second to register what you said.
I should have said Papyrus. That sounds a little more like Zelda. Like a Zelda character.
Yeah.
I am Papyrus, the great fallen warrior. Let me teach you a move and try to stay living with this plank shoved in my head.
That'd be pretty cool, man. I like this whole system of, I don't know, staple characters. Or they're not really staples, but some
of them are a lot of staples, but then, one of the ideas I had for an obscure character is you could play as all three of the Elite Beat agents. Just like the same way in Smash Brothers, you were two ice climbers. You could be just 3 men in black running around dancing at people. You know how awesome that would be? Because there's a Japanese version of that game with completely different characters. There's more than just the guy with the... Well, I mean, they all have sunglasses. Guy with the fedora, guy with the anime hair, and taller guy with the red afro. There's 7 people you can play as an Elite Beat agents, and then there's 9 more in the Japanese version.
That's pretty cool.
So you could swap them out. I want my main guy to be the guy who goes, "Agents are go." I want the...
Can we get another one of that?
"Agents are go." Yeah, I got that game for my 11th birthday from an old friend, Joe. He was an awesome guy. He's still around, just in another state.
Rest in peace, I don't know.
He'll probably never listen to this, but, I just thought I'd throw it out there. Gave that to me for my birthday, and I was just like, what in the world is this? Anyway, but yeah, you could swap them out. Instead of just changing their outfits, to personalize them, you could just change the agents that are, dancing. It's just, there's so much potential there.
Endless world of possibility.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That seems like a good place to wrap up, whatever this means. I was doing a weird hand signal. All right, Jason, I'm going to quiz you at the end of this podcast, which is now. Do you know what our Twitter handle is?
Yeah.
What is it? That's true.
League of Random Fandom. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm not a good
co-host. It's alright.
I
just wanted to see. It's LORF Pod Official with at the beginning.
I was testing you to see if you knew.
Oh, I know it. I'm the one who made it up. Yeah. Be sure to like this video, to subscribe to this channel if you enjoyed it. Enjoyed this video. Follow us on Twitter. We update every now and again when we do something new. Follow me on YouTube. I've come up with some interesting ideas for videos of my own.
And don't forget, for every follow, you get a free breadstick. That's right, a free...
If you go to Olive Garden and tell them that you've subscribed to League of Random Fandom or Rad Ready on YouTube, they will give you a free breadstick. But
with the purchase of a minute.
I'll make sure to put an asterisk at the bottom at this part, but I will not even say that it's not true. Yeah. All right. Okay, bye everyone.
Later.